And now it's time for an India Today world exclusive. And this doesn't just pertain to India. This is something that the world needs to watch. Remember, Imran Khan is currently at the United Nations in New York City trying to paint a picture of Pakistan as the victim and India as the aggressor and how the world has been unfair to Pakistan. Well, you're going to change your mind, even if you thought that, once you watch this special broadcast. India Today's special investigation team has exposed Pakistan's dirty nuclear secrets like never before, and this one is truly specific, viewer. High-resolution satellite images from Pakistan's Kahuta have been accessed by our team, which confirms the presence of a mysterious and disturbing new nuclear facility that remains outside the purview of global nuclear watchdogs. Take a look at this exclusive report by India Today's Ankit Kumar. He thinks nothing of spewing nuclear threats. In a year when the two countries came to the brink of war, the Prime Minister of Pakistan has been pushed by India's abrogation of Article 370 into plummeting to its true character, using the nuclear threat to make a political warning. Imagine this is mostly Imran's desperate rhetoric for his domestic audience. But you may also be wondering, does India need to worry at all? The difficult answer is yes. Remember, even on a good day, Pakistan is globally reputed to be one of the world's most irresponsible nuclear powers. When Pakistan made its first attempts towards producing a nuclear bomb by producing reactor-grade plutonium and enriched weapon-grade plutonium, it codenamed the operation Project 706, and the epicenter of its operation was this engineering research laboratory in Kahuta. Now known as the infamous Khan Research Laboratory, or KRL, after A.Q. Khan, the infamous father of its nuclear program and also the father of the Pakistan-China proliferation axis. This is the same place where Pakistan built its first nuclear bomb and develops the Gauri missile.
कि अगर हम यहाँ से बटन दबा दें, वो हमारा मिसाइल से मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सेक्शन था, वो हमने ये तैयारी की हुई थी कि अगर हम चाहते तो वहीं से मिसाइल फायर कर सकते थे और 5 मिनट में वो दिल्ली को उड़ा देती.
This site is officially identified as a global threat. The International Atomic Energy Association calls this lab an illicit source of nuclear technology and a serious challenge to nuclear non-proliferation. Behind a fortress of total secrecy, what's happening at the Kahuta facility? That ominous question now has an answer. In a disturbing revelation, an India Today open source investigation has discovered that the construction of a new facility at this location has been completed. And this could very well turn out to be India's biggest national security concern. India Today's open source intelligence team analyzed high-resolution satellite images from Kahuta, and these images confirm the presence of a new facility at a distance of just 800 meters from the old laboratory building at Kahuta's Khan Research Laboratory. Take a close look at these satellite images. Notice how a piece of land has turned from an empty helipad in 2014 to a possible nuclear centrifuge facility this year. Experts we spoke to tell us the construction design of this mysterious new building matches the designs of nuclear centrifuge facilities in North Korea and elsewhere. The damning new images have a dark backstory. Research done by independent think tanks in the UK and US had earlier pointed to an under-construction structure at this facility. The Nuclear Threat Initiative, or NTI, at King's College London, IHS Janes, and the Institute for Science and International Security all agree that the then under construction facility was most likely a nuclear centrifuge intended to produce highly enriched uranium, which could also be used in nuclear warheads. Well, these warheads would ostensibly be chiefly for Pakistan's land-based nuclear delivery systems, including the medium-range Babar cruise missile, Shaheen 1A ballistic missile, and even the tactical short-range Nasr missile, all of course pointed solely at India. Indian experts unanimously agree about the nature of this mysterious new building.
Satellite images that I saw very clearly indicates the intent that was existed from that time onwards. And I think it is very surprising that the international community has not made enough noise about it. This facility being coming up very close to Kahuta facility where there There is a lab from which the weaponization of ballistic missiles that have been taking place. This is facility which is helping further weaponization of Pakistan's nuclear capability.
While foreign watchdogs remained inconclusive as the construction continued at this facility, these exclusive new satellite images acquired by India today finally confirm that the facility, spread over 6 hectares, is fully ready. Surrounded by a thick 2-meter wide boundary wall and a camouflage rooftop, all telltale signs of the secrecy at play.
The very fact that it is so close to Kahuta laboratory, A.Q. Khan lab, now the Prime Minister of Pakistan has, even in his smallest address to public in Pakistan, he talks about taking on India with nuclear weapons. So that attaches a little more important and urgency, so to say, to understand as to what exactly is happening there, what is the capacity buildup that is taking place, and what is its impact on India.
So how big a threat is this for India and the world? And are we prepared to deal with a growing jihadi nuclear arsenal? Remember, this is a country with a large sponsored terror base where terror chiefs are treated as VVIP citizens. Who is to say then that nuclear weapons or nuclear material cannot fall into jihadi hands?
We today have capability of having credible deterrence. Our ballistic missiles are capable of hitting very precisely beyond a distance of 5,000 kilometers as well. The government, I am sure, must be taking due note of these kind of developments and accordingly enhancing its facilities, infrastructures.
Pakistan has a civil nuclear program assisted by China. But shockingly, the Khan Research Facility is not under the global safeguards of the IAEA. With Imran Khan already putting the onus of a future nuclear flashpoint on the global community, experts believe it's time for the international community to intervene.
If you see this facility, this picture brings you very close to North Korean and Iranian facilities that have been existing. And if today, if we say that, okay, it's only Iran and North Korea and not Pakistan, I think there is something fishy about it.
From the Balakot strikes to continuing ceasefire violation spots near the line of control, the Pakistan army and establishment have of late used the international media and humanitarian groups with embedded tours to present a narrative of victimhood. This building on your screen could well be the single biggest threat to peace in the subcontinent. The question now is, will these damning images be enough for international groups to force entry into this new facility? With Ankit Kumar in Delhi, this is India Today's Special Investigation Team.
And remember, nobody has seen those pictures before. This is a world exclusive. You're seeing them for the first time. That finished facility that could be a nuclear centrifuge for plutonium and enriched uranium for Pakistan's warheads could be in those pictures you are looking at. And remember, this is 15 acres surrounded by a 2-meter thick wall that simply did not exist just a few years ago. There had been watchdogs who warned that the construction in progress in 2015, 2016 could result in a nuclear facility and a nuclear centrifuge. And now, India Today's Ankit Kumar has accessed high-resolution satellite photographs that nail conclusively that that is precisely what has happened. The world's worst fears about Pakistan have proven to be true. 15 acres of nuclear hell. And remember, none of this is under the watchful eyes and the safeguards of the International Atomic Energy Association, which means the world does not have any control over what happens in a place that is globally notorious for proliferation. Joining me live now, Ankit Kumar, India Today's special investigation journalist who has accessed these photos and got us this world exclusive. Also with me live, Dr. Manpreet Sethi, who's a distinguished fellow with the Center for Air Power Studies, Kamarchima, one of Pakistan's best known analysts and strategic affairs columnists. Ankit, I want to come to you first because these images are damning. And if I have it right, this is a facility that the world had its eyes on. Many institutions had noticed that something fishy was going on there. There was construction going on there, only 800 meters away from the main Kahuta laboratory, which was famous because of A.Q. Khan. And the world also said, many institutions said, that there is something dodgy going on here. The IAEA does not have a pair of eyes on this facility. Something notorious is going on here. Your pictures have basically confirmed that is precisely what has happened.
Precisely. What we have done here is we have obtained high resolution satellite imagery to show that the concerns raised by some of the think tanks in US and UK are indeed true. You know, there has been buzz in the scientist community, international scientist community over past few years that Pakistan is, you know, constructing this new facility, what it is going to be. All of them agreed in principle that this looks like a nuclear centrifuge facility.
Yes.
Just 800 meters away from the infamous Khan Research Laboratory. Now, what we are showing here on our screen are the very first pictures of this ready, we cannot say functional because we have not been able to detect.
But it's fully constructed
but
at
it's
least.
fully constructed because we have not seen any smokes coming out, right? So it's fully constructed. And you know, if you have followed the developments post Balakot and post abolition of Article 370 in Kashmir, Pakistan has been using international community, international media to present a narrative that Pakistan is the new beacon of hope and humanity in the region.
Yeah, and a victim.
And a victim.
Of India's aggression. That's
of India's aggression.
Yes.
These images show that the international community has missed something.
Yeah.
Pakistan is as big a threat as North Korea, as Iran, in terms of, you know, a nuclear problem that we may have in future.
Tell me something, Ankit, just for clarity before I go to our other guests. Why is this facility not under IAEA safeguards? What is the reason for that?
Because Pakistan is not a signatory of NPT. That is first. Pakistan has a declared civil, civil nuclear program.
With China,
With China. But those facilities are in Karachi, the Chashma nuclear plant. That is separate from this. This is a specific military facility.
Yes.
No civilian is allowed. You see the, you know, the security arrangements there. No civilian, even a Pakistani cannot go there. You know, if you talk to the, if you see the pattern of Pakistani establishment, Pakistani establishment has been trying to present an image that, you know, Pakistan is now a free place. Any international journalist can come and visit what is going on in Pakistan.
Yeah.
If Pakistani establishment has nothing to hide, they must arrange a tour as they have been doing for, you know, POK borders and for as they did in Balakot. They must take a team of international experts and journalists to this facility and show them what they are doing there.
Okay, will they do that? I highly suspect, if you know, even if ordinary Pakistanis are not allowed here, who is to say that anybody from outside will ever be allowed, especially because it's a military dedicated facility for you know, enriched nuclear fuel for their warheads. I want to bring in Dr. Manpreet Sethi before I bring in Kamar. Dr. Sethi, what do you make of this? You know, at one level, it's not surprising at all. Pakistan has been a notorious proliferator. The North Korea, China, Pakistan axis is well known. The A.Q. Khan, proliferation axis is very well known. Are you surprised in any way that these satellite images confirm the world's worst fears, that something that began just as flat land in 2014 has quickly emerged as a nuclear enrichment, weapons-grade nuclear enrichment facility?
Well, thank you, Shiv, for having me on the program. No, I'm not surprised. You know, you remember when Pakistan tested its nuclear weapons, it started by saying that it's going to build a credible minimum deterrence. Over the years, this has graduated into being called the full spectrum deterrence. So the fact that they're going to increase their arsenal, the numbers are growing. We understand that because every year the annual reports that come out suggesting the increase in arsenal are very much evident.
Yes.
So it's pretty clear that infrastructure to fuel this increase in the arsenal has certainly been going on. And neither is this essentially a matter of concern from the deterrence point of view for India. See, as far as deterrence is concerned, India is suggesting if you use nuclear weapons against me, I will be able to retaliate in such a manner as to cause unacceptable damage. So increase in numbers don't really matter from that point of view. What is a matter of concern from the story that you have broken today is essentially the safety and the security aspects that come into the picture. Given that there is an increase in nuclear infrastructure, the physical security of this infrastructure as well as the possibility of an insider threat from these operational nuclear facilities is certainly a matter of concern, not just for India, but at the global level. And you've pointed that out to say that globally the world needs to take notice of this expanding infrastructure, largely from the terrorist point of view. The fact that Pakistan is an intersection of an expanding nuclear arsenal along with an increase in terrorist organizations, that is where the matter of concern lies for India and the world.
Very, very well put, Dr. Sethi. Qamar Cheema, you know, I'm not going to sit here and say that nuclear saber rattling favors one nation or the other. You know, we are all mature individuals. We know that in any nuclear war, there can be no winners or losers. Everybody is a loser. The enemy is to keep nuclear war at bay. But the point raised by Dr. Sethi is a very, very, very important one. The increase in this secretive nuclear enrichment infrastructure, which has been revealed in Ankit's breaking story here, this world exclusive here, basically suggests that the trouble could increase. There is more vulnerability. This equipment and this material could easily fall into the wrong hands, non-state hands. That is the problem in Pakistan, because none of this is under the safeguards, Qamar.
Well, I think, Ashif, you just need to listen me. You know, Pakistan has taken all the measures which have been offered by International Atomic Energy Agency and UNSC, you know, which are multi-layered nuclear security initiatives. Multi-layer nuclear security initiative introduced by IEA and UNSC. One thing, you know, in 2004, Pakistan signed UN Resolution 1540 that spoke about the spread of weapons of mass destruction. Pakistan is signatory of that. There is no single incident of lost, theft, and unauthorized use of nuclear weapons in Pakistan. Recently, listen. Recently, UN Chief Yukio Amano, which passed last year, he came in Pakistan and the IEA, International Atomic Energy Agency, said Pakistan's nuclear program is the safe and secure, and we have permissive action link system that safeguards our nuclear assets. I think this propaganda done by India and Afghanistan.
When you say that there have been no instances. When you say there have been no instances of theft or loss of such material, you know, the point is it takes one such instance for things to be reaching an irreversible point. Dr. Sethi, does anything that Qamar Cheema is saying right now hold any water? Does this take away the argument that these facilities increase vulnerabilities, especially in a country where terror chiefs and terror organizations are state-funded, state-sponsored, and these terror masterminds are considered, you know, VVIPs in those countries? Who is to say that they won't have access to these materials? Dr. Sethi.
See, Mr. Cheema is right in suggesting that a lot of effort has been taken by the Pakistani state in order to secure their nuclear weapons. We all understand nuclear weapons are the crown jewels for Pakistan. They do take good care of them. But nevertheless, we have seen that terrorist activity has taken place in high security installations in Pakistan.
Exactly.
They have been, able to get into Air Force bases. Now, given that the Pakistani terrorists today, the organizations which are being, which are flourishing in that country, are not just anti-US or anti-India any longer. They are also anti-Pakistan in some extent. And therefore, while Pakistan might be taking all measures in order to secure these sites, the chances of, infiltration or insider threat cannot be ruled out. And the more this infrastructure expands in a country which is ridden with terrorist organizations, that's where the problem lies.
Ankit, whether it is the ISIS, whether it is groups like the Jaish-e-Mohammed, whether it is other groups as well functioning within Pakistan, the Taliban included, you can dismiss it as propaganda. But what Dr. Sethi says, and Qamar, you can answer this in a moment after Ankit, what this basically means is they've got their eyes on it. They know that this, there are these vulnerabilities exist, Ankit, and no one can actually make a confirmed statement to say that these things are 100% safeguarded. Isn't that the truth?
Well, since Mr. Chima quoted the IAEA, I want to show you something. This is a press statement from IAEA. It was released when an international nuclear trade gang was busted.
Read it out.
In Africa. It says, this episode is seen as a critical milestone in the investigation into the so-called AQ Khan network, an illicit source of nuclear technology originating from the Khan Research Laboratory set up by the Pakistani scientist Dr. Abdul Qadir Khan. So this facility has been named by, and it goes on to say, the AQ Khan network, which operates in more than 30 countries and comprises several entities and individuals of different nationalities, is still reputed to be to present a serious challenge to the nuclear non-proliferation. So this is IAEA talking about this facility.
So what are you talking about? IAEA happy with Pakistan's efforts to safeguard its nuclear facilities, Kamar? This is a report about proliferation. They've named this particular laboratory where we've revealed this new facility coming up as the world's worst headquarters of proliferation, if I can call it that. Come on.
You know, Shiv, let me explain. You know, India has signed 2005 civil nuclear agreement with the United States. Now, India is aspirant to be the member of the export control regimes, including nuclear suppliers groups, Wassenger Arrangement, Australia Group. India wants to be the member of the nuclear, and some of it has become the member. Now, the point at this moment is that if the IAEA says that none of the Pakistani nuclear facilities is in danger and whatever Pakistan has done is all safe, and whatever the measures we have taken there, the international law.
You just heard from an IAEA report. IAEA is not saying that everything is fine. They're saying that the Kahuta laboratory is the most dangerous place as far as nuclear proliferation is concerned. So what you're saying is not true, Kamar.
You can just check from Dr. Sethi that if the only country that is imbalancing nuclear non-proliferation or damaging nuclear proliferation is India because of being aspirant of the nuclear export control regimes and because of the 2005 nuclear, US nuclear.
Kamar, when it comes to proliferation, when it comes to responsibility, accountability and issues of proliferation, it is preposterous to compare Pakistan and India, especially when you compare the AQ Khan nexus and network and North Korea, China and Pakistan with India. Dr. Sethi, am I exaggerating when I say there is no comparison as far as responsibility and reputation for proliferation is concerned?
No, Shiv, I think you're very right. And I would like to respond to the question which is being raised by Mr. Chima.
Yes.
India did not sign the nuclear deal. India earned the nuclear deal in 2005, and it earned its membership into the export control organizations because of the behavior. There is such a huge difference in the behavior of India and Pakistan on these issues that really there is no comparison on this, and I don't think we need to go down that route. I think what we are suggesting is that it is a matter of concern that Pakistan is expanding its nuclear arsenal at a time when it's not bringing its terrorist organizations into check.
Exactly.
And that is a problem. See, every country which develops nuclear weapons has the right to build what it believes is credible deterrence for them. Pakistan is doing that. I don't have a problem with that. My concern is that expanding arsenal, the increase in nuclear warheads, the increase in the infrastructure brings dangers which can lead to inadvertent, going into areas which we don't want to go into. And that is only the point that I would like to flag on the discovery that you've made today.
Yeah, Kamar, you can respond to that, because if you quantify this entire situation, Pakistan has a large arsenal of nuclear weapons, that is, hardly commensurate, and the increase in nuclear activity is hardly commensurate with crackdowns on terror activity, terror organizations. Most of it has been cosmetic, most of it has been eyewash. These so-called house arrests of Pakistani leaders, I mean, that is just for the world's consumption. But has anything at all happened as far as terror activity is concerned that Pakistan can say that these facilities are not vulnerable?
I think Dr. Sethi is right that India earned all that what she's saying as far as the export control regimes and the other. But at the same time, you have destabilized the region. Now, the point is that if you go to the Conference on Disarmament, where we are talking about the fissile material cut-off treaty so that in future fissile material is produced, we are not reaching consensus because India is getting member of the export control regimes to get the new technology about nuclear. India is getting with America about the signing into US nuclear deal. So you are destabilizing the region. You are not making India peaceful or secure.
I find it amazing. I find it amazing, Kamar.
No.
I find it amazing. Dr. Sethi, I want to bring you in, but I just want to have a quick small word. I find it actually amazing while we have these pictures on our screen right now, revealing this new nuclear facility to the world for the first time. I find it actually amazing that Kamar could sit there and say that India earning a place at the nuclear table is what is destabilizing the region, rather than the continued support of terror and the terror attacks that Pakistan sponsored between two nuclear neighbors. I just want to put that thought out there. Dr. Sethi, please respond.
Yeah, I think he also very well understands and that Pakistan is still in a state of denial on this particular issue. But I want to respond to his fact about the FMCT, the fissile material cutoff treaty. I think the dates are completely mixed up in his mind, because he's mentioning 2005 as when they stopped wanting to have the FMCT. Pakistan for the last 2 decades has not wanted to get into the fissile material cutoff treaty. The negotiations at the Conference on Disarmament have been held up for the last 2 decades, and it's well known that it's Pakistan which has held up this consensus. India agreed to the idea that negotiations on fissile material cutoff treaty must happen, and that putting a stop to fissile material production will be one way of stabilizing the situation. But it's Pakistan which has held up these negotiations for so long.
Yeah, Pakistan has been in denial. They have stalled negotiations, they've stalled discussions. They want to make it seem like everything is hunky and dory while these new facilities still come up. One final question with Ankit, since he's the journalist who's broken this story. It's a world exclusive. Ankit, Kamar, 20 seconds to you. You want to just add something? I'll give you a chance.
Yes, one thing. As far as Ankit is saying, I think if there is something to come, that is to come from the Indian, IEA, International Atomic Energy Agency. And as far as Dr. Sethi is speaking, I think we have to generate a consensus in Conference on Disarmament. And I think when the countries have failed to agree that from where we have to count the nuclear material, we have agreed on this, that as far as the nuclear material is concerned, we need to look into this.
The problem is, these are many noble thoughts, Kamar. Kamar, I appreciate your sentiments, but these are many noble thoughts that we're talking about right now at a time when there is no equal footing here. India's facilities are all under safeguards. The fact is Pakistan's facilities are vulnerable because India is not a sponsor of terror. We don't have terrorists in our country. The only terrorists in our country are sent from your country. So don't compare the two. There is no equality between the two countries as far as proliferation and vulnerability of nuclear facilities is concerned. That is a fundamental difference between India and Pakistan. But Ankit, I want to give you the last word. How will the Indian government and the Indian security agencies be viewing this information? They would have their eyes on these pictures as well. I'm sure they've been monitoring the development of this particular facility in Kahuta in Pakistan. What would their response be? What kind of backup responses could currently be in the system already?
The officials that we have talked to, Shiv, have clearly pointed it out that we have an indigenous deterrent system which can tackle any threat, any possible threat which comes from Pakistan. As far as Mr. Cheema is concerned, leave India and Pakistan for a moment. It's not about India and Pakistan. It's about the IMF. You have a country who is begging for aids on a daily basis. And its prime minister every day repeats the word nuclear as if it's their national song. Right? So we have this funny situation where a country's economy is going down,
wanting money and still issuing nuclear threats.
And investing a lot of money not in civil facilities but in military facilities. That is the core issue here, and Mr. Cheema will not agree to it. But Mr. Cheema, why does your union budget does not mention the cost of this facility?
It's incredible. This is the problem. There are special VVIP facilities. I'm out of time.
And read your budget documents, Mr. Cheema. It does not mention the cost of this facility. Go and read it.
There are many things in Pakistan that are off paper, off the system, off the grid, And that is the reason, like Dr. Sethi said, that they are so vulnerable. That is the point here. The point is not about making nuclear facilities. The point is who could have access to that nuclear material. We're going to end it there. But thank you very much. Pleasure to have you, Kamal Chima, Dr. Manpreet Sethi, and of course Ankit Kumar for that excellent world exclusive, the fallout of which is going to be felt across the world. The United Nations General Assembly is on. We'll get you reactions from New York City as well later this.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.